So today I want to talk a little bit about what to do after you've said something that is hurtful to somebody else. This came up for me this past weekend. I actually said something horrible to a friend of mine, and I felt so much pain afterwards. I was so sad that what had come out of my mouth was so cruel. And it was reactionary. It was a moment where I had lost my patience, and this phrase just shot out of my mouth. That was really hurtful. And after I said it, I felt terrible. It was like inside my body was melting. it was horrible. And I knew that I was either going to sit and stew in that emotion and stew in the mistake that I had made. And if I were to do that, it would cause so much negative self-talk, and I would get caught up in this almost kind of cyclone of negative thoughts, and all of them making me feel even worse than I already felt. And this, got me thinking, of course, about, what can we do then in these situations? Because these situations happen, right? I mean, no matter how much we meditate, no matter how mindful we are, there will be instances where we react. And it's better for us to know in those situations, well, how can we then get back to balance faster? So some of the ways to do that, instead of kind of getting stuck in that place of pain, is first to really understand that you've already said it, right? It's already come out of my mouth. I can't take it back. The damage has been done, and there's nothing more that I can do about that specific piece of it, because that's already happened. That's in the past. So then what I really want to focus on is, well, then what can I do to make this situation better? What can I do first to make myself feel better and for the other person to feel better? And asking those questions helps you begin to take action, right? So for me, I knew that the first thing I needed to do to feel better was to fess up to the fact that I was just very, very mean. So that was the first thing that I did. I basically said, I was just very mean to you right there. And I'm not sure where that came from. It was a gut reaction. And I'm really sorry. Right? That was the first thing that I had identified that would make me feel better, and hopefully, my friend. And then after identifying what can I do to make the situation better, then I really needed to tap into what I can learn from the situation, right? So these types of obstacles that come up in our paths, again, similar to what I was talking about the other week, is they're meant to teach us. They're meant to be teaching moments where we see kind of these dark sides of ourselves, and they are there to open us a little bit more, to show us what we can potentially learn to get to kind of these lighter spaces. So I asked myself, what can I learn from this situation? My answer being, I can learn to pay more attention to situations where I might feel frustrated and really paying attention to my emotional state, making sure that I'm slowing down, really thinking about, how to become more mindful of this situation. So, I was feeling frustrated. I automatically reacted. So the more I'm aware of these same types of situations coming up, the more I can then navigate through them a little bit better. So the first piece, right, is realize that the action or what you've said is already in the past. The second step is to figure out, okay, what can I do to make this situation better? The third piece is, what can I learn from this situation? And then the fourth and the final piece of the process is really, what can I commit to doing in the future? And this looks like, for me, it looked like going to my friend and saying, I really think you are a kind and wonderful person. I don't believe that you're inconsiderate or selfish. And I commit to using language that shows you your wonderful qualities going forward in our relationship. Pretty much saying that I'm choosing in this moment to commit to being kind to you and showing compassion towards you instead of letting the other overtake. And it's hard not to get annoyed at ourselves and frustrated at ourselves and stuck in that place of, I'm a horrible person because of what came out of my mouth. But there's this saying that my therapist told me, which I absolutely adore. And it's either you let it go or you get dragged along by it. And that's what we really have to remember in these situations, is that we can either let it drag us down, or we can figure out how to practice letting it go. And if you ask yourselves those 4 questions, by the end, you will have at least come to terms with what happened and have, an action in mind so that going forward, you'll be more mindful. I hope this was helpful for you, and I will see you next time.